alone in the scorching wilderness. She staggered forward each step, heavier than the last. Haven't you ever felt completely unseen, like you didn't matter? The people you trust turn against you. You have nowhere left to run. Who will save you? The sun was merciless. The wind whispered no comfort. She had no home, no future, only the weight of betrayal pressing down on her. And yet someone was watching, a presence unseen yet undeniable. Was this the end, or was it the beginning of something far greater? This is the Bible story of Hagar and the God that sees. In the end, we learn about 6 powerful lessons from this story that could change our lives forever, before her name would be etched into history. Before she would encounter the God who sees all, Hagar was just a servant, an Egyptian by birth. She had been taken from her homeland, brought into the house of Abram and Sarah. She was a stranger in a foreign land, a possession rather than a person. She had no say in her destiny. Now Sarai had grown weary of waiting. God had promised her husband Abram descendants as numerous as the stars. He took him outside and said, "Look up at the sky and count the stars. If indeed you can count them, then he said to him, so shall your offspring be." Genesis 155, yet her arms remained empty. No child, no heir, just silence from heaven. Then one night, a decision was made. The Lord has kept me from bearing children. Sarai said, "Go sleep with my servant. Perhaps I can build a family through her." Genesis 16:2. A command, not a request. Did Hagar hesitate? Did she dare refuse it? Didn't matter. She had no voice in the matter, no power, no choice. And so she was given to Abram. Everything had changed, no longer just a servant. Hagar now carried the child of Abram. Everything had changed, no longer just a servant. Hagar now carried the child of Abram, the heir, the promise Sarai had waited for, but through another woman, and that reality began to weigh heavy in the household. At first, there was silence, then glances, then a shift. Hagar, once invisible, now walked with her head high. Hadn't she succeeded where Sarai had failed? She was no longer just a servant. She was a mother-to-be. But in her confidence, a dangerous tension grew when she saw that she was pregnant. She began to despise her mistress. Genesis 164. Sarai saw it, felt it, and her pain turned to fury. "May the wrong done to me be upon you." Sarai cried to Abram, "I put my servant into your arms, and now that she knows she is pregnant, she despises me." Genesis 165. Abram would not take sides. "She is your servant. Do with her as you see fit." Genesis 166. And with those words, Hagar's suffering began harsh treatment, cruelty in glance and in tasks. Days turned into torment, until one day Hagar ran the desert stretches before her. Footsteps in the sand. Her breath is ragged, alone, pregnant, afraid the wilderness swallows her whole. But she is not alone. Someone is watching. Someone sees. The desert is endless. Heat ripples over the sand. Hagar stumbles, her breath shallow, her strength is failing. She clutches her stomach, shielding the life within her. She has run far, but where can she go? She is alone, or so she thinks. Hagar had fled from the torment of Sarai, but she had run straight into another kind of danger, emptiness, thirst. And the unknown Hagar, servant of Sarai, "Where have you come from, and where are you going?" Genesis 16:8. She gasps, looking around, nothing but sand and sky. But she is not alone. A figure stands near the spring where she has collapsed, a presence unlike anything she has ever encountered. This is no ordinary traveler. This is the angel of the Lord, and he knows her name. No one had ever called her by name in this way before, to Abram and Sarai. She was just a servant to the world. She was nothing but to God. She was seen, she was known, and now she was being called. Go back to your mistress and submit to her. The angel says, Genesis 1:69, return to the suffering, to the cruelty, but then the promise, I will increase your descendants so much that they will be too numerous to count. Genesis 1:6-10, you will give birth to a son. You shall name him Ishmael, for the Lord has heard your affliction. Genesis 16:11, for the first time, Hagar realizes the truth. She is not forgotten. God had seen her pain. God had heard her cries overcome. She whispers the name that will be remembered for generations to come. You are ROI. She says, the God who sees me. She gave this name to the Lord who spoke to her. You are the God who sees me. For she said, I have now seen the one who sees me. That is why the well was called Bir Lahi Roy. It is still there between Kadesh and Bered. Genesis 1,613 and 14 tears glisten in her eyes. Hagar returned to Abram's camp as a woman who had met the God who sees time passes. Hagar's belly grows. Then one night her cries pierce the stillness. A child is born, a son, just as God had said. Abram holds the newborn in his arms, and with that, the child is given a name that will forever bear the mark of divine intervention. Ishmael. God hears at last. Abram had a son, a boy of his own flesh. Could he be the heir of promise? But the answer would not come yet. So Hagar bore Abram a son, and Abram gave the name Ishmael to the son she had born. Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bore him Ishmael. Genesis 16:1-15-16. For 13 years, Ishmael grew under his father's care strong, fierce, a son of the desert, the firstborn of Abram, and then everything changed. Abram now, 99 years old, standing before the Almighty. No longer shall your name be Abram, but your name shall be Abraham, and Sarai, you shall call her Sarah, and I will bless her, and she shall give birth to her son. Abraham fell face down. He laughed and said to himself, will a son be born to a man 100 years old? Will Sarah bear a child at the age of 90? And Abraham said to God, if only Ishmael might live under your blessing. Genesis 17:17-18. In that moment, the course of history was sealed. Ishmael was blessed, but not chosen. And as for Ishmael, I have heard you. I will surely bless him. I will make him fruitful and will greatly increase in his numbers. He will be the father of 12 rulers, and I will make him into a great nation. But my covenant I will establish with Isaac, whom Sarah will bear to you. By this time next year, Genesis 1,720-21, and as God said, Sarah became pregnant and gave birth to Isaac, whom God has chosen to establish his covenant with. After his birth, a storm began to brew. No longer was Ishmael the promised one. No longer was Hagar secure. And on this day, it all came crashing down. The child Isaac grew and was weaned, and on the day he was weaned, Abraham held a great feast. But Sarah saw that the son whom Hagar the Egyptian had borne to Abraham was mocking a single moment, a single action, and it was enough to ignite a fire that had been smoldering for years. She turns to Abraham, her voice sharp, unwavering. Get rid of that slave woman and her son, she demands, for that woman's son will never share in the inheritance with my son Isaac. Genesis 2,110, the words strike like a blade. Abraham's heart wavers. He loves Ishmael. This is his son, his flesh and blood. But Sarah's command is clear and deep inside. Abraham knows this is more than just jealousy. This is God's plan unfolding. But God said to him, do not be so distressed about the boy and your slave woman. I will make the son of the slave into a nation also, because he is your offspring. Genesis 2,112-13. Early the next morning, Abraham Abraham took some food and ale of water and gave them to Hagar and then sent her off with the boy. She went on her way and wandered in the desert of years. Sheba, with each step, a question pounds in her mind. God, do you still see me? The desert is merciless. The sun burns like fire, and the sand shifts beneath weary feet. Hagar presses forward, but with each step, the burden grows heavier. Her provision, so little to begin with, dwindled quickly. When the water in the skin was gone, she put the boy under one of the bushes. Then she went off and sat down about a bow shot away, for she thought, I cannot watch the boy die. And as she sat there, she began to sob. God heard the boy crying, and the angel of God called to Hagar from heaven and said to her, What is the matter? Hagar, do not be afraid. God has heard the boy crying. As he lies there, lift the boy up and take him by the hand, for I will make him into a great nation. Genesis 217-18. The wilderness did not claim them. God had seen them. God had heard them, and now God would establish them. The well they had discovered had become their refuge, a place of survival, a place of new beginning. But the wilderness is no easy home. Ishmael grows not in luxury, but in hardship. The son of the servant becomes the son of the desert. God was with the boy as he grew up. He lived in the desert and became an archer while he was living in the desert of Pan. His mother got a wife for him from Egypt. Genesis 21:20-21, and so a new chapter begins. A new family, a new people. From Ishmael's sons will come 12 rulers. From Ishmael's descendants will come nations. This is no longer a place of exile, it is a place of destiny. These are the names of the sons of Ishmael who became the 12 tribal rulers according to their settlements and camps listed in the order of their birth. Nabal, the firstborn of Ishmael, Kedar, Adil Mibsam, Mishma Duma, Masa Hadad, Tma, Jurdnafish, and Kedema. Ishmael lived 137 years. He breathed his last and died, and he was gathered to his people. His descendants settled in the area from Hava to Shur near the eastern border of Egypt, as you go toward Asher. And they lived in hostility toward all the tribes related to them, Genesis 251:12-16. But what of Hagar? The God who sees has never left her. And now God's hand rests on the future of her people. The wilderness that once threatened to consume her is now the very land in which her people thrive. In the end, it was never about the land. It was about the God who sees Hagar's legacy. Though often overlooked by the world, was written into the fabric of God's great plan, the Bible does not provide a specific account of her final moments or her death. Her significance lies in the role she played in the larger biblical narrative, particularly as a woman who was seen and cared for by God when she was in the wilderness. For she is remembered not for what she lacked, but for the faith she carried, and that faith became the foundation for generations that followed. What is the moral of this story? The moral of Hagar's story is deeply tied to themes of God's faithfulness, His care for the marginalized, and the power of faith in times of abandonment. 6 key takeaways from her story are: when God sees the forgotten. Hagar's story is a reminder that no one is overlooked by God as a servant and outsider. She had every reason to feel forgotten. Yet, when she fled into the wilderness, God met her there in her lowest moment. He saw her. This highlights that God is not distant, but present in our most difficult and lonely times. 2, God's promises are bigger than our circumstances. Despite the struggles Hagar faced being cast out by Sarah, living in the desert, and raising a child in isolation, God's promise to her was that her son would become a great nation. Even when life feels like it's fallen apart, God's purpose for us remains intact. 3, faith in God's provision. When Hagar was in the wilderness with Ishmael, God provided a well of water. Genesis 21:19, sustaining them when all hope seemed lost. This shows that God will provide for his people even in the most desperate of circumstances. We need to trust in his provision. 4, the dignity of every person. God cared deeply for Hagar, even though she was a slave, and in an oppressive situation, her story shows that every person, regardless of their position or status in society, is worthy of God's attention. And care. 5, the importance of God's presence. Even though Hagar was sent away and felt abandoned by Sarah and Abraham, she was never truly alone. God's presence was with her, guiding her, comforting her, and giving her hope. This speaks to the broader truth that God's presence with us is more important than any earthly support or security. 6, the role of women in God's plan. Hagar's story highlights that women play a significant role in God's redemptive plan. Her life reminds us that every person, no matter their gender or social position, has a place in God's grand story. In summary, the moral of Hagar's story is that God sees and cares for everyone, no matter their circumstances or status. He is faithful to his promises and will provide for us. In our moments of greatest need, through Hagar, we are reminded that God's plans are bigger than our immediate circumstances, and that we are never truly alone when we place our trust in him. Say this prayer with me. Heavenly Father, you are the God who sees the one who never abandons the broken, the weary, or the cast aside. Just as you saw Hagar in the wilderness, you see me now. You know my struggles, my pain, and the silent tears I cry when no one else is watching. Lord, have mercy on me. When life feels like a desert, barren, dry, and unforgiving, remind me that I am never alone when I feel forgotten. Remind me that you call me by name when I am lost. Guide me as you guided Hagar to your well of living water. Forgive me for the times I have doubted your presence. When fear grips my heart and the future feels uncertain, give me the faith to trust in your perfect plan. Strengthen me, O Lord, just as you strengthened Hagar to keep moving forward even when she saw no way out. I cry out to you, my ROI, my God, who sees me, see my pain, my weakness, my desperation, and pour out your mercy upon me. Let me drink deeply from your love so that I may never thirst again. Father, as you promised, hug our hope for the future. I ask for that same hope. Today, renew my spirit, restore my joy. Remind me that no wilderness is too vast, no sorrow too deep.